Welcome back into the Stream PCs episode 3. We are going to be covering a lot of things today, a lot of exciting things, especially for you streamers. We're going to be going over Kick versus Twitch. We're going to be going over cost. How much money do you need to start? And the differences between stealing and creating your own content based off of something you've seen from somebody else. Let's get it. Okay, guys. So we've been asked, what do you need to start streaming? Do you need the $6,000 PC? Do you need the iPhone? What do you need? How much do you need to spend? Where are we at? What are your guys' opinions? Sauce?
What do you got? That's what you need. You need what you got. If you got a gaming system, you can stream directly from it. Like I did, I started from my Xbox. Lucky over there started from his PlayStation. Aztec started from his PlayStation. You don't have to go out and buy a $5,000 PC with a 48-inch monitor and a nice DSLR. You don't need none of that.
Started from the bottom, now we're here?
Exactly. Now, if you have all that stuff already, because you have, like, maybe you're already using your computer for something, maybe you have a nice PC at home, then awesome, use it. Great. You have a camera because maybe you do photography. Cool. But I can guarantee you that this cell phone right here is more than good enough quality. And there's a $5 app that you can get and make it the nicest webcam that anybody just starting would have.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Lucky, what do you feel?
I completely agree. You don't need to go out and spend $3,000 to even $1,000 to start streaming to any platform at all. I mean, and like Sauce said, everybody has most people have a webcam in their pocket already and just don't realize it. And there are plenty of cheap options. Even if you didn't want to use your phone as your webcam, like maybe use that as your chat. Like there are some people who pull up their chats on their phones because they can't pull it up on their monitor.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're referring to like the Twitch dashboard.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because that's actually how I started. Even though on PlayStation, whenever you streamed straight to Twitch, your chat would actually be like on your screen. But I always took it off because I wanted the whole monitor because it always threw me off while I was playing. So I actually had my chat on my phone. But later on, I ended up trying to. I bought it was like a $10-20 webcam. I mean, it worked. I mean, I weren't the best. It weren't the best image, but it was better than nothing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Sauce? Anything to add to that?
Yeah. I was just thinking, whenever I first started streaming, I was streaming from an Xbox, which was a little bit different than with you guys with PlayStation, because PlayStation, you can still see your chat and everything on the screen on the side.
Right.
Twitch.
You just lose some of your screen.
Exactly.
Your game ends up smaller.
Exactly. But there's not an option for that anymore for Xbox because Mixer was out.
Mm.
So whenever Mixer happened, they
the
took
mighty
that
have
feature
fallen
away. Yeah. They took that feature away, though, from Xbox because Microsoft owned Mixer. So they wanted you to stream directly from your Xbox to Mixer instead of streaming directly to Twitch.
Mm.
They have never added that back. So there's still not a way to read your chat that way. So what I had to do was I had to get an iPad, pull my stream up on there and read my chat just like I was watching my stream in order to actually respond to people.
That was before they had like the pop out function for like just the specific window and everything too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't stream through OBS or anything at that point. So it was literally just me going on there and looking and seeing what was being said.
Oh, you mean straight from console?
Yeah, I was streaming directly from my console.
Gotcha,
I didn't use a capture card. I didn't use anything when I first started. Now, when I got my laptop, which I streamed with a laptop and a console for the longest time. Like this was probably about a year and a half of me streaming only from that. And then I eventually made the step up to have a PC that could stream and do everything on one PC. Ended up having a stream PC. And, it's little incremental upgrades that you're
over time, over a long period of time.
There's no reason to jump directly in. at all. So what I would recommend is, if you're starting to see success in your stream, that sub money or whatever you're getting, use that to upgrade your stream. Don't use any money out of your own pocket. Only use money that you got from your stream to upgrade your stream.
I
What do you
100%
think?
agree with that.
That's awesome.
What you guys
You know, and I'm gonna act really old here for a minute. You know, back in our day when we started, there wasn't all the interesting things that they have now. I mean, now you can stream from your, you know, PlayStation or Xbox, preferably PlayStation. You can stream from your console, and there's a way to have overlays as if you were streaming from your PC, and all that stuff's built into Twitch. I think some of them do require you to log into a computer at some point to kind of set it up. You know, for the younger streamers that are in school, or you know, for the middle-aged streamer who doesn't maybe have the funds or the capability, you know, because economy's rough, to buy a PC. Library card is free, so go to your library and set it up there. Make sure you password and double authenticate everything so nobody can get your stuff. But you can literally set it all up there if you really wanted to. If this is really what you want to do and you want to grind for it, you could do all those things. But as a person who didn't have that mindset starting out, and I thought that I needed everything, I probably put off streaming an extra 2 years, which I really regret now, because I probably would have been a lot further than I am now. But I waited until I had a PC. I waited till I had a big monitor. I waited until, like, I just kept waiting. I was like, oh, I need the Astro A50s. We're not sponsored, please. I waited till I had the best headset that I could get. I waited until I, you know, like you said, I got an extra iPad, or I upgraded my phone and kept my other phone for, you know, free music options. We would never use, you know, what we're not supposed to use. But I use that now as an freaking iPod. And I mean, I still have, this is literally like the oldest iPhone you can get. And it still runs my music for my stream. So I think nowadays there's just so much that you can do with so little. But I do think, so, like, and personally for me, I think we talked about raiding and stuff like that and who I choose to raid. If I see you without a camera, or if I see certain things, and this is just me, this is personal, I'm going to feel like you're not taking it serious. That's not saying that you're coming in with nothing and trying to learn the ins and outs, because really what you have to do, because it's not about what you have, and it's not about what you can really provide as far as quality and stuff at first. It's what kind of personality are you bringing to the stream? Can you hold the conversation with chat? Can you be entertaining? It's not how good you are at the game. It's not having the 48-inch monitor like some of us want and need, personally. Okay.
I don't know about the need part, but.
And I think that's where everybody's getting lost, because they're targeting us with this question of, what do I need to start with? How much money do I need to save up? How good is your personality? How good are your people skills? How good are your talking skills? Right? I'm terrible at talking, but I can keep doing it. So I think as a new streamer coming in, if you're asking us this question, I think we're starting off on the wrong foot already. That's just personally how I feel about it.
I agree and disagree with you on that. Where I do think you can start with what you have, I do think that in this day and era of streaming, you have to have quality as well. You can't put a subpar stream up and expect the results that you want. Now, do I think that it costs money to put up a quality stream? It costs a little bit, but does it cost as much as you think? No. I'm a budget streamer myself. I stream, the most expensive thing I have in my setup is this microphone right here. It's a $200 microphone. Yeah, that's expensive. But Lucky's not using a $200 microphone.
Oh, no. God.
And that's fine. But sound quality to me is super important. Now, I have a pretty cheap PC. I spent like $1,500 on my PC total. And that was with me working on it, making it better, doing everything else. Yes, quote unquote cheap, right? It depends on what you think is expensive and what you think is not. Now,
Right.
Could I have streamed directly from my console and maintained good quality? Yeah, I could have. And that's okay, especially now with all the options that you have, being able to do overlays directly from your console through programs like Streamlabs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can make quality content that way. Now, are you going to be able to keep up with some of these people that are spending like $6,000-$7,000 on their setup? Probably not. And that's okay. But as long as you have something that is a solid quality that people can watch and not feel like they're watching something that was made and put on by somebody that didn't know what the fuck they were doing, then you're good. What do you think, Luck?
Let me interrupt real quick. Me and Lucky have the exact same mic, and I think we spent like $40 on it. Lucky, 60.
I think the mic was $60 and the mixer was like 40.
So we
50.
spent a total of $100 for the XLR capability. So it's possible. I mean, it's, again, nowadays you can find this kind of quality of mic for pretty much what we would consider dirt cheap. Because if you can tell, Sauce's mic is it's like an older gen. At that time, it's $200. So again, when we started, it was like a mountain that you had to climb. It was just like, oh my gosh, I need this, and this. I mean, Sauce's $1,500 PC. If you're smart about it, and you know, I know some of our younger audience is going to be like, what is he talking about? What's Facebook? But if you run Facebook Marketplace, there are plenty of streamers that have sadly given up on their dream because they never found our podcast to help them grow. They've given up on their dream and they're selling their equipment on Facebook for dirt cheap. I mean, Lucky, how many PCs have you built off of Facebook Marketplace?
At least 6 or so.
And how much do you think you spent on all 6? If you just threw a random combined number.
Roughly around 400 a piece.
Okay. So again, very doable. Nowadays. But what I mean is, let's pretend you have no money. You have zero money, and you've already got your console. You've already got internet, and you've got your one TV. And 99% of people now have a cell phone. You already have everything you need right there. Now, if you don't have a headset, yes, you can still stream, but I promise you, growing is going to be rough. Because if you can't talk and add personality to it, you're just streaming a game that I can literally pick up and play myself, or I can go watch Sauce, an entertainer, Lucky, an entertainer who's talking and doing things. So at minimum, you'll need to get a headset, which again, in today's market, most gamers are using a headset as almost, or earphones, whatever. Okay, sorry. Okay,
These are $18.
There you go, $18. So,
Mine
but I
was
think
not
most
$18,
gamers
but
nowadays are switching over to always having some kind of audio in their ears, which usually comes with a mic. Does that come? I see something there. Is that a mic?
this
Mic
one
right
doesn't
here.
come with a mic.
Okay, so
I
yours
didn't
was
need one though.
So hold on.
Turtle Battle Buds.
timeout. So yours costs more than Sauce's, and it doesn't have a mic on top of that.
It's not built to have a mic.
I think you got ripped.
See,
And
his
you-
are in-ear monitors. Those are made directly just for the audio.
Mhm.
Mine are Turtle Beach Battle Buds. These are made to plug directly into an Xbox controller, a PlayStation controller, and be able to talk in game with them. Now,
Yep.
I don't know what the quality of the mic is. I'm sure it's probably mid, but what I can tell you is it works. This is $18, and $18 for a headset that works, that's reliable, solid. So
Yeah.
I would definitely cop it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you can go to a Five Below. I mean, they got headsets for like, $5, and of course they sell some things that are more than $5. Sometimes headsets they'll be like $10 max.
Right.
Mhm.
But so starting out that way is still doable. But really, I mean, if you get that mic at that point, you really have everything you need. There's settings you can do, especially if you have a next gen console, a PS5. I think actually even the PS4 had this capability. I can't speak on Xbox, Sauce. You can help me out here when I start explaining it of whether they have it or not. You can go into your settings menu and lower your mic, lower the sensitivity. You can do all these things. So if you care, which you should, you sit there and play around with it. You bring your mic down and you're like, okay, where should it be? Should it be here? Should it be right in my mouth? Like, you make those decisions and adjust where you're going to have that mic. So if you want it right here, that's fine. But adjust it on your console so it sounds good, right?
Mhm.
Because I'm telling you right now, audio is king. Mic audio is king. Well, game audio too, but mic audio. Because if somebody comes in and you sound like you're in a helicopter or you sound like you're in a hallway, they're not. I mean, this is not
In a
appealing.
cave.
Yeah, they're not
Audio
going
in
to stick
general.
around.
Yeah, audio in general is definitely key. And Xbox has all the same settings that you're talking about.
Okay.
And it has something special that didn't have whenever I was first starting. I used to have 2 headsets on in order to be in Discord
I
with
remember
my
that.
friends whenever I was playing on my console. Now Discord's directly in the game.
Again, nowadays they've got everything handed to them basically.
A lot of stuff. It's a lot smoother now. It really is. And to touch back on Facebook Marketplace,
Okay.
it was just like 2 days ago. In Facebook Marketplace, like Aztecan said, is a great place to get like stuff that people are just wanting to get rid of.
Yeah.
For dirt cheap, but it won't be as constant throughout the year. You have to hunt for it. You actually have to look at it every so often and actually see the deals because they fly right out of there. 2 days ago, I saw a easy $2,000 PC. I mean, he was selling his curved monitors, keyboard, mouse, whole tower PC with like a 10th gen and a 3070. I mean, he had mic, webcam, whole setup for $500.
Go ahead and DM me that information, asking for a friend.
Hey, the problem is I was riding down the road and I was even my dad was in the passenger seat and I was like, man, or no, I was in the passenger seat. He was driving because I was scrolling through Facebook. But I was like, man, this PC is a freaking steal. Instantly sold. It was posted. It was posted that day. That day, gone. Like if you don't jump on it right then, like good deals like that, they fly right out of Facebook Marketplace.
Reminds me of the Madden Marketplace.
Yeah, for sure. I think that in life, in everything, even that if you don't have the cash, you have to have more elbow grease. You have to be willing to work harder. You have to look for things harder. You have to do stuff the hard way. Now, with hard work and less money, you can make something that is super, super quality. Now, if you have the money to invest, you put in less work. But the people who have the money and put in the most work are going to have the better stream.
So this exact moment, and I feel like maybe I saw this for the podcast today. I heard a quote today. It says, everything that you're wanting or looking for is in the work that you're not doing. And that fits so perfect in with what we're talking about. So basically, if you're not willing to download Facebook, look for those things, and it doesn't have to be Facebook. There's millions other, and we're not a sales podcast. It's not what we're trying to teach you guys here. But if you are smart and you can figure these things out, and you can figure out how to find the things that we're looking for, building a PC is always going to be cheaper, and in the PC community, way more respected. I don't know why, because I'm a pre-built guy. I hate doing everything myself. And I get made fun of for it. But if you can work those things, and again, this is not what we're trying to do as far as our content, but what's priced on Facebook, that's not permanent. Like if a guy says, "Hey, this PC's $100, come get it if you want it," when you get there, you're like, "Man, looking at it, I'm thinking 75, bro." You're already there. They want to get rid of it, and they want that money. They'll probably take 75 for it. That being said, like Sauce said, the elbow grease, the time, the effort, how bad do you want this? Do you really want to upgrade your stuff? Or do you want to keep making excuses and saying, I'm waiting on my $3,000 PC? Because somebody waited and waited and waited. And I feel like I missed a golden era window of time to be a streamer. So I'm really disappointed that I waited as long as I did. So if any of you are out there and you're contemplating starting streaming, start today, start tomorrow, whatever. Don't go past tomorrow. Start now, because the sooner you start, the sooner you start to grow. So I think as far as cost and all that, I think that covers that. I mean, unless you guys have anything else that you want to put into it, because really for us, the big thing is just audio and just work on your craft, you as an entertainer. All right, guys. So let's get into the nitty gritty. What do you think about Twitch versus Kick? And for anybody watching that doesn't know what Kick is, because surprisingly, there's still some streamers out there that don't even know what Kick is. It is a new streaming platform that is seamlessly taken over the scene as the new up-and-coming streaming platform. What are your guys' opinions? Sauce?
100% purple, bruh.
100%.
I think purple is definitely more my speed. Have I dabbled over on the green a little bit? A little bit. By the way, those of you who don't know, Twitch is purple and Kick is green. That's pretty much all that separates them, because Kick is a carbon copy of Twitch.
It really is.
Yeah, it's definitely a copy and paste. I personally enjoyed Twitch over Kick. I've streamed a little bit on Kick. At first, I didn't stream at Kick at all, especially when it first come out, because there were like no rules or regulations.
It was the
No
Wild
TOS.
West.
It was a very wild adventure, and I immediately was like, "Oh, what am I looking at here? Let me get off of this." You know, but
Nipples everywhere.
but they've updated a lot of things, and they are slowly updating and trying to make it better. But I have had a couple friends that have switched completely over to Kick because they've had more traction. But me personally, I prefer Twitch over Kick.
What you
So
asked, Tekken?
I think it's interesting that you guys say that you prefer a platform over another, but you're not really giving me reason as to why you prefer it.
Okay.
So for me, my answer is going to be super basic. It doesn't matter to me because I currently am a multi-streamer and I multi-stream to both. Now, I'm not going to say it doesn't bother me when I look up and see that there's constantly zero traction over on Kick, no matter what I do. But to me, my purpose as a streamer is to put my content out. So I don't see a difference. Now, where I start saying I think the Purple app, aka Twitch, is going to be better for me is because all of my audience refuses to go to Kick because of interface issues. Especially for my mobile users, they're having issues with the chat still. Now, are those things easy to fix for the Kick app? Sure, and they've improved them greatly. But for whatever reason, that Twitch community still seems so uncomfortable going over there. And you can use whatever excuse. Kick doesn't have channel points.
That's
So-
the big reason, honestly.
Channel points is such a simple thing that Twitch has done. And for those of you that don't know what channel points are something that you accrue with watch time, chat interaction, stuff like that. You can accrue these points, and they don't really mean or use for anything other than what the streamer has set inside of their stream. So for us, we have all kinds of redeems each, from hydrates to funny sounds to making a stand in the corner like a child. Whatever it is, we have those points and our viewers love it. So I think something, if any dev or somebody from Kick ever hears this episode, is, hey, maybe figure out a way to reward the viewer more. Because I honestly think if they did that, what would be the excuse not going over there other than just simply choosing a side like Xbox versus PlayStation? Because to me, that's kind of what it's seeming like. Is like, oh, we started here, we're familiar with here. This came first for me. Because most PlayStation versus Xbox guys are, what console did you have first? Very rarely do you find one that's like, I had a PlayStation first, and now today I'm Team Xbox. So to me, it seems like a thing of familiarity. So what are? Yes, I did. I did start with Xbox and I switched to PlayStation. That's why I said we are rare. But that's only because, again, for those of you that don't know the story, real quick, I bought 3 Xbox 360s within the span of 4 to 6 months, and they all red ring. So I was tired of having to buy the same console over and over, and that's when I switched to PlayStation. That's when Xbox lost me. So lesson there is make a better product and you don't lose your fan base. Anyways, so with that being said, with my further explanation of it, why do you guys prefer Twitch or Kick?
For me, there's mainly two reasons. Like you said, there's less integration for Kick right now, mainly because they're so new. But like the only thing that I could find personally that's integrated with it right now is like Lumia Stream. Okay. Which it does allow the chat to interact a little bit. You can set commands where stuff will pop up on your screen, like memes will pop up on your monitor and stuff like that, which is fun. But like I personally love using Mix It Up Bot for like all everything. Of my alerts, sounds, and everything like that. So for Kick, you have like two 2 or 3 bots that you're required to use right now?
I'm aware of Botrix and Kickbot. I'm not quite sure if
I
by
think
now
Nightbot works for it too. I think.
has
I think
Nightbot
maybe.
integrated.
I think so.
I still use
Maybe.
Nightbot, so that would be interesting to see.
I think Kickbot and Nightbot are like you can convert your stuff from Nightbot to Kickbot if I'm not mistaken.
So basically, Kick copied and pasted Nightbot and made it their own thing, kind of like they did with Twitch. Gotcha.
Probably,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
And the second thing is that Twitch has just become a home for me personally. You know, like it's where I actually started and grew, and it feels weird, almost like cheating. You know, like I'm coming over here. You know.
Yeah.
But
yeah. How about you, Sauce?
See, I don't care where I stream at. That doesn't bother me any. If I've streamed on Facebook, streamed on Kick, streamed on YouTube, streamed on TikTok, and I've streamed on Twitch. Whatever. A place to stream is a place to stream. I think what Twitch did right was they built a community environment. The culture of Twitch is a more positive culture, and they've gamified it so much for the viewers that they're gaining channel points just by watching. They're able to interact with the streamer that way. They get hype trains that they get to beat, so streamers can make more money that way. It's those features that Twitch has that's really set it apart from everything. And even though Kick literally took a copy and paste formula and made Kick from Twitch, they don't have those things. And the culture over there seems to be, I hate Twitch. That's the culture over on Kick. Not necessarily from the company, but from the people that are there. And the culture on here isn't the same as their culture.
Yeah. I'd also like to throw into that the one thing that I've noticed over on Kick that like spiraled out of control was follow for follow and support for support. Like it's everywhere. The past couple times that I have streamed over there were people coming in and be like, "Hey, shoot you a follow, follow me back," you know. And I'm like, that's not how this works.
Right. I mean, I think you guys are hitting it on the nail on the head there, because for the top Kick streamers that I've had the pleasure, I'm going to say that loosely, of hanging out with and getting to know, it is definitely that. You hear them talking about, oh, when I stream, I have everybody in my community pulled up. And this is no shot to any of those people, but this is something that they have to do. So my question is, would their audience be there if they didn't feel like they were getting that out of them?
No.
And I don't think they would, because we've had experiences, and again, we're not going to say any names, but we've had experiences with streamers within our community that have been kicked out of groups. They've been treated terribly because they wanted a multi-stream, and I've had people come into my chat where they're like, "Oh, are you multi-streaming to Twitch?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then never another word was said. Well, like any other streamer, I just assumed they got busy and they left. I didn't realize that there was this whole culture of, we are Kick, we hate Twitch. And it's a pretty big deal. So we have friends that have made that change. Some very good friends of ours who have gone solely over to Kick, and I've had the pleasure, I don't know if I should say it that way, is a pleasure, but I've had the opportunity to gain some of their viewers over to my channel who were like, "Hey, I felt like that person kind of gave me the middle finger and just left." Somebody who had, subbed to their channel for months. I mean, your Twitch people feel like, well, what about me? So I think switching over solely is a bad idea. But again, do you blame that person if their viewership is double? They're getting a 95-5 split, right? So their viewership's double. They feel like they're getting more subs. They know they're making more money with those subs. So to them, it was almost worth it to lose a community member, a viewer, to do those things. And it makes it hard to be like, "Hey man, that wasn't right. You shouldn't have done that," because, it seems like they're up. But then I'd love to ask them, well, how many people do you have to up your stream? Well, everybody that comes in chat. Really? That's what it takes? And I think the
Not
three of
worth it.
us have agreed for a long time that we don't follow you unless we like your content. We don't do follow for follow. I don't know how many communities we've left that turned into follow for follow because it was just like, no, because it's fake. I think, Lucky, explain why you would not want to have a high follower account, because I think you explain it the best.
For me personally, I like the way I tell a lot of people is I would rather have 10 followers that enjoy the stream, that are concurrent viewers, rather than have 1,500 followers and only have 5 concurrent viewers. And the way I always say it is it's like a ghost follow or a fake follow. They just come in, drop it, and head out.
Yeah.
I guess they expect you to like go follow them back or whatever. I'm not 100% sure why they do it.
Okay.
Well, some of it's with raids and stuff. They come in and it's just a follow because they're like, oh, my alert, this is cool, yada, yada, yada. But those people have no intention of coming back to your stream. Like I said, I've been on Twitch for quite a while. I'm nearing 3,000 followers. And that's just kind of what happens. You have people that come in, they'll drop a follow, and you'll never see them again.
Yeah,
That's the
and
majority.
and it's understandable that some people might drop you a follow and forget about you, or like you said, they come in, or like you said, they come in and with a raid or something, and they're doing it just to show the support to the streamer that they raided in with. Like, hey, I followed them, like doing you a solid as a viewer. And
so absolutely, I love that you guys both brought up raids, because I was actually a part of a raid, and we went in, and the streamer was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you for the raid," and then she started getting, almost had her name, no names. She started getting some follows off of that community, and she said, "Hey, I really appreciate that," and I love the way she said it, but I think it didn't sit well with a lot of people. I get what she was trying to say, but maybe saying it right then and live wasn't the move. She's like, "Hey, I appreciate the raid. I appreciate all these new followers, but I don't think you guys have been here long enough to really get to know me and decide whether you wanted to follow. So please get to know me before you follow. Thank you again, but I want you to follow me for me, not just to help that person look good. I love, X person that just came in and rated me, and I already appreciate them, and they know that you have their back." And she just kind of went on for a good minute, and I was just like, whoa, like, out of context, you're kind of feeling like, as a viewer, maybe not a streamer, as a viewer, you're kind of like, well, what a shithead, like how dare you, but as a fellow streamer, I totally got what she was saying, because we feel the same way. It's just like, don't drop a follow to make that person look good. They already look fucking amazing for picking me to raid out to. Like, I don't, so unless you're just trying to kiss that person's butt, like Sauce said, or sorry, I don't remember who said it now, but you're just trying to make that streamer look good because you're like, hey, you rated out and I followed that person and I dropped all your emotes in there and I was like super present until I felt like you weren't paying attention anymore. Like,
and then bolted.
And I dipped.
Yeah, like that's just not the way to do things.
I was touching base with as well. Like, you want, because my goal is to, and a lot of streamers' goals is to get to know the person. You're not a viewer isn't just a number. They're a whole person. I want to get to know you. I want to be your friend. By the way, if you're listening, can we be friends?
He's so desperate for friends.
One of the things that I am very happy about, whenever someone ends up hanging out in my stream after a raid, let's say it's like an hour or so after the raid happened, and they drop a follow, then I always tell them I'm super appreciative, and those mean more to me than somebody that follows immediately after a raid, because they actually took the time to see if I was their cup of tea. They enjoyed my content.
Right.
So those follows, I feel like I actually earned, and well, I guess earned, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and we say all this and still, like, Sauce is putting on a special thing because he's about to hit 3K followers, yeah, I have a follower goal when anytime you come into my chat, like, you'll see it. You'll be like, oh, okay, so this guy cares about his follows. Of course, but I think where a lot of new streamers get hung up on is they think they need all these followers to be successful, and that's really not the case. I've never met a sponsor that asks directly or even in your portfolio, "Hey, how many followers do you have?" No, it's how many concurrent viewers do you hold? How
Mhm.
So that's what they're looking at. How many live viewers do you have? Because when you promote our product, we want to know how many people are seeing it. I don't care about your amounts of follows. So, which I really love that those companies are taking the time to understand the things that we're talking about now, and they're not looking at a follower amount. So,
Yeah, I think for streaming, it's a little bit different because of that. The concurrent viewer matters more. But for like things like YouTube or like TikTok, things
TikTok.
like that, your follower count matters because those are the people that are going to have those videos pushed out to them. So they're going to ask more for your followers there than they will anywhere else.
Mhm.
That's why there are things set. There's not a follower goal for partner on Twitch. There's a concurrent viewer goal for followers or for your Twitch partnership. 75 concurrent viewers, and you can apply for Twitch partner. Now, for YouTube partner, you have to have 500 subscribers. They actually care about how many subscribers you have over there. And remember, a subscriber on YouTube, follower on Twitch, same thing.
so I think Botrix has added the ability, if you pay, to have channel points. Blurp, which would be the same thing as sound alerts, which are Twitch's integration of how people can play funny sounds on your stream if you don't know. So Blurp is also integrated with Kick now, where they can leave your stream, go to the Blurp side if they're on mobile, pick a sound, and come back, and probably miss the sound by the time they load back in correctly. Which is, again, I think that's kind of where the holdup is, because on Twitch, as you guys know, there's a little window that they can press. They never have to leave your stream. The channel points are
Mhm.
integrated into the chat. So again, they never leave the stream. They don't miss chats, for people who are invested in the community and chat with other chatters, which is the greatest thing you can have as a streamer. So those things again is where Kick is missing, because people are having to leave your content, and like I mentioned earlier, if you're on mobile, getting that thing to load back up is a headache. So can the PC people get away with it? Sure, they can open a tab, slide it over, do all those things, but nobody wants to do that, because like anything else in sales or marketing in this world, your clientele, your viewer, they're and this is no shot at you guys, they're lazy. They don't want to go into another tab. They want everything quick, accessible, fast. So that's just kind of where Kick's missing the market. But again, if they were to add all these things in that we're complaining about, do you think you'd still pick Twitch over Kick? And I feel like that answer is yes, because of familiarity. It's where you've already done all your work to build that community. So again, it's hard to blame all these guys that are going over there that are literally falling into follow for follow, which is actually, I think there's a new thing that's been born with Kick, which is tab for tab, because that's really what it is. If you don't tab me up, I'm not coming in. So, I have a couple of viewers that come in and they leave an emoji and then they leave. And honestly, I'm happy that they've come in, they thought about me, but then I realized I don't never check their stream out because I don't know them. They've not come in and chat with me. They've not come in and showed me what kind of personality they have. So I've never went and done the work to check them out, because I guess maybe still have that Twitch mindset of let's get to know each other.
It should be the mindset in general. It shouldn't just be a Twitch mindset. And I think that follow for follow is something that happens on any platform whenever it's newer. And it comes in waves over here on Twitch as well. Like, it's one of those things that'll happen. But if you look at any of the platforms that have happened recently, if you look at Glimmer, you look at Kick, you look at what's some of the other ones we looked at, Lucky. There's been like 20 different apps recently, right?
Trovo?
Yeah, Trovo's one. There's been a few.
I
regardless.
streamed there for a minute. Didn't
Did
like
you?
it.
Yeah,
I did.
I
that's what I'm
missed
saying.
that.
It was weird. They had like cards and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was like Magic the Gathering meets Twitch. I don't understand.
So actually,
But-
you saying that just sparked a memory. I gotten a host or a raid or whatever they call it on Trovo. I got one out of all the time I streamed there. I think it was like 2 or 3 months that I was multi-streaming to Trovo as well. and I got their version of a raid, whatever that is. And the guy and his community come in. It was super great. They were chatting. I was chatting with them, and then I kind of looked over and was chatting somewhere else. And they literally asked, "Are you streaming to Twitch too?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm multi-streaming." Boom. Again, not a single word after that. So I think Trovo might kind of have some of that.
I think every platform does. I think Twitch is the main platform if you want to be a streamer. That is the quintessential top of the pyramid. That's where you want to be. That is the best thing. It's the one that everyone's competing against. You're comparing yourself to Twitch. And the reason that those other streamers are on those other platforms 9 times out of 10, unless they're multi-streaming, is because they couldn't get any action on Twitch. And they're mad.
So, okay, so what if we broke it down this way? So we just got done saying that your follower count on Twitch doesn't matter because what actually happens within your chat matters. So I feel like Kick streamers are looking at this shiny number that they're not used to because they stream on Twitch and maybe they had 4, 2, 6, 10, 20, whatever that number is for them. You know, everybody's different. Whatever their success was, that's what they had. That's what they're used to. Then they go over to Kick and they follow into this rabbit hole, follow for follow, tap for tap, whatever it is. And now they have 60, 80, and they're just like, you know, super appreciative for it. But what is the value of that if those people are coming in, dropping a couple emotes and leaving? Like, you're not really, I mean, lucky. You're not building those friendships that you want. You're not sauce.
Right.
You're not building your sauce drops. You're not building your community that you want. You just have a bunch of people coming in spamming emotes, and you feel more successful because of a viewer number. I don't think I personally, and I believe you guys are the same way. I don't think we measure success that way. I feel very successful if I have a stream of 4 viewers and the chat was going the whole time. We were talking, we were cutting it up, we were getting to know each other. Versus when I have 30 people and it's awkward because like nobody's chatting and you feel like you're getting stared at by 30 individuals and like nobody's saying anything. You're just like that weird person at a party where you're just like
Yeah.
just a weirdo off in the corner holding a cup. Like it just feels weird. So I think some people are the way they measure success is so twisted right now.
I think Kick's kind of taken advantage of that a little bit with people's mindsets and how much they hate something. And they're kind of like using all of the emotions everyone has towards Twitch to make themselves a bigger platform. Like they're talking about, oh, everyone was mad about not making much money. So what if we tell people we're going to pay every streamer? And then they make up unrealistic expectations, which are the exact same expectations that you needed on Twitch in order to hit partner anyway.
Yeah.
75 average viewers for you to start getting paid by Kick. It's the same damn thing.
Right.
Like, what's the deal here? But what they do is they make it sound so sweet and so easily obtainable that anyone who had any issues pops over there and they start drinking the freaking Kool-Aid, man. They drink it up. And I'm not even against Kick. Like, it's a business. They're going to do whatever they do. I don't necessarily like Stake. I don't like what they're into because it's a gambling company. And that's what they do. And I don't really promote gambling.
And for those that don't know, that's the company that owns Kick, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Right.
That's why you're allowed to gamble on Kick.
On Kick. Right.
That's kind of how Kick started, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, okay. So, just another kind of example to build on what we're saying. If you post a TikTok, right? And I've recently had a community member that we went toe to toe with this conversation. You get 10,000 views, right? You feel successful, right? You're like, oh, my video did good. Because obviously for TikTok's algorithm, people have to watch the majority of your video for them to continue to push it out. Okay. So obviously they watched that community member's video almost all the way to the end and it kept getting pushed. But when you look at the amount of likes that person had, I think it was 30 the last time I looked, right? So you had 10,000 people watch your video, but you had 30, which can't think of the percentage off my head. I'm sure it's probably easy and somebody's going to laugh at me. But you had only 30 people like it. And you maybe had, I think I had like 15 comments on it, but half of those were him responding to the comments.
Mhm.
So that being said, how do you measure? Thank you. How do you measure success that way? So cool, your video went out a lot, but what did you get from it? Did you get followers? Hey, I believe they let me know that they got, I think, 20 followers. So again, 20 out of 10,000.
10,000.
What is the success rate there? How successful are you actually being? You know what I mean? So to me, that is the same idea that we're walking in a kick with, where it's just like, I have so many viewers that I'm not used to having, so I don't know. And again, so in order to not lose all of our kick viewers and listeners, I don't mean to sit here and just tear down. I'm just sitting here stating the facts of what we see as, established streamers. And the good thing that I do appreciate Kick for is some of the fact that they're still standing, the fact that we have seen Twitch make some changes, whether we can directly say it was because of what Kick's doing, but I think also YouTube is making a bunch of changes, nothing to do with Kick, but YouTube is making their changes. So what do competitors do? They compete. So as YouTube's changing, Kick's still surviving and making a come up, right? Twitch has been slowly doing things. So we're walking out of this Twitch monopoly, which really has been what the world of streaming has been. I mean, it's been, like you said, Twitch is on top. Twitch is what you want to aim for. Twitch is the end goal, right? Which now I think a lot of the end goal is becoming content creation on YouTube, because you can make videos there. You can make a whole career out of YouTube videos. A lot of YouTubers nowadays have 2 to 3 channels. Well, this channel's for this channel's for that, and they're finding success that way. So I think really it's YouTube that's doing it, but I can appreciate that Kick's coming into the mix, and I like to see what the future of Twitch is going to be, because I feel like Kick is pushing Twitch to be like, okay, like they've recently discussed giving back that 75 split to partner streamers. Not all partner streamers, but select few. And I again, I'm not a partner, so I didn't read into it. I wasn't like, oh, let me figure out what this is saying. But I'm sure it has to do with, a viewer amount or what a consistency amount. I'm sure there's an algorithm for sub
I
amount.
believe it's subs amount.
Okay.
And I don't think gifted subs count. I think it's actual subs.
Okay, you know what? I'm starting to remember what you're saying. Yes, it was how many total subs? It was like 240 or something. It was a weird number.
Something like that.
Something like that. And it couldn't be gifted, didn't count towards that number. So you had to have 240 viewers or, fans that would come in and sub to you in order to get that split, which seems impossible, but there is a boatload of partners that are doing that, and they would appreciate the split.
Sub points versus subs. So like a tier 3 sub got them like X amount versus a tier 2 sub and a
so
tier
that's
1
cool
sub.
too then.
Right.
So that way your supporters that would normally just gift a bunch could just sub at a higher tier to still help you out.
Mhm.
So again, we're not trying to tear down Kick. I'm still streaming over there. I would love to grow over there, but I want to grow the correct way, which is, in my opinion, the way we've grown on Twitch. Building community, getting to know people, not this follow for follow crap, not this tab for tab. And I really think we need to start making that like a saying, because that's really what it is. It's not follow for follow. It's tab for tab. Hey, you got me up because I'm live. I've literally seen people go into somebody's chat and be like, hey, I'm live. Got you tab. Tab me, please.
Mm-hmm.
I have half the mind to ban you when you do that. Like, I'm just like, get out of here. I don't want that.
I would ban them.
So.
Yeah, I remember trying to. I remember trying to network one time, and the guy's like first 40 minutes of his stream was, all right, blah blah blah, I got you tabbed up, blah blah blah, I see you're live, I got you tabbed up. Like that was his first 40 minutes, just going through people announcing like, hey, got you tabbed, sending emote now, and I'm like, what? Why? Like,
that's insane. Insane. I think I'm officially going to take a stance that I'm going to not stream on Kick officially ever again. I'm done. Yeah.
I think I'm still going to stick with multi-streaming for me personally, because I feel like just like in any other aspect of life, and especially the internet, I feel like there's probably some good eggs over there. There's probably some good people over there.
I'm sure there are
that are just lost in that negative sauce, and they're just looking for a home. And I feel like, I'm the superhero that's supposed to be in there finding them and dragging them out of the mud and saving them. I mean, that's just kind of my idea. Like, if I can get them, let me get them. So to me, it's one extra button to the multi-stream. So I think I'm still gonna do it.
I would definitely think I would prioritize YouTube, especially right now, because I'm gearing more of my content over to YouTube versus streaming anyway. I'm trying to get more into the long form content. So I think my plan would be is if I'm gonna multi-stream, I'm gonna create a second channel over on YouTube that I only live stream on, that I can send people over to my long form content channel. I think that's kind of my game plan for that. What about you, Luck?
Uh, I'll probably still multi-stream over to Kick. Probably mostly the same reason as Aztec, and I always give people a benefit of the doubt. I know that it's filled with follow for follow, tab for tab, and support for support, but occasionally, on rare occasions, there have been like one or two people that have come in and said, and actually chatted with me the whole time that I've streamed and stuck around, and it's worth finding that one person for me.
I did see in one of our comment sections that they were asking, does it make sense to multi-stream, or is solo streaming still the better option? So you guys are obviously both still for multi-streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've listened to professional stream coaches talk about this. So if you listen to a professional stream coach, they're going to tell you that you shouldn't multi-stream because you need to protect your craft first, which I totally agree with what they're saying. You're putting out a show to 10 different platforms. Let's just make up a number here. 10 different platforms, but the show's not put together. It's a train wreck. You don't know how to do the introduction. You don't know how to keep talking. All the things that you need to learn as a streamer. I totally get that. But you're doing that to one platform anyways. You're learning to one platform anyways. This is where I start to come into the argument of I don't agree with that, because I think multi-streaming is the wave. Again, I talked about it a couple of an episode ago or two. The way I attack my content is I'm putting out everywhere as much as I can, 3 or 4 times a day. Sometimes 6 if I feel like I have really good content, or I feel like, oh, that video didn't do as good, let me go ahead and throw this other one out because obviously this wasn't very good. And then I see improvement or whatever, or it don't. So to me, even if your show's not correct, why not? Why not get your face out there? Why not find traffic? How did we find our community members, guys? We were streaming, and one day they came in, and one day they decided to have the strength to speak to us and talk to us in chat, or we found them, vice versa, and we had the guts to go in there and say, hey, how are you? Lucky, let's be friends. Whatever the case was, why wouldn't you multi-stream? I think as far as like for Sauce, you're creating YouTube content, which isn't the same as streaming. There are a lot of aspects that are similar. Like us walking into the podcasting world, we were like, we can do this. And the more we've put into, hey, what is a podcast? How do we podcast? What do we do for podcasts? We've been learning what, guys? That this is almost the same monster. And there's a lot of similarities to it. There are a lot of differences, but there's a lot of similarities in all this stuff. So to me, multi-streaming is the wave, definitely to, horizontal content, when you start getting into the vertical stuff as well, sometimes it feels like, why am I doing this? Because, the outcomes are all different and it just depends on you. But I definitely am going to stick with multi-streaming, and I definitely think you should, because what if you find your community and it happens to be on Kick, and maybe it's not one of the follow for follows. You just find, 4 or 5 good friends. They're in there chatting. You guys build that community. You have it. Other people stop by. They see that. They get sucked into it, just like Twitch. So to me, it's like, if you're starting out, why not? You might be a Trovo streamer by the end of the day. Who knows? Find your people, because that's what it is. It's finding your people. It's not, Anyways, how do you feel, Luck?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you just said, dude. I can understand what you said the coach was saying. I get that aspect of it, like trying to master your craft and everything before you like get it, master your craft in one place and learn how to do it first before you broadcast on the news or You know what I'm saying? Like before you try to go everywhere and show everybody everything. But thing is you're starting off at zero everywhere.
Everywhere. Right.
You know? So I mean, why not start everywhere? You know,
I
that
mean-
gives at least that gives you a chance to have more possible more traction, more eyes on your stream. You know, I don't see why you wouldn't multi-stream if you have the capability to do so.
Yeah, so if you guys don't mind me interrupting both of you, I'm gonna go two routes with this. Okay, we're gonna go to the jock side of things. We're gonna go sports, and we're gonna be like, the saying works perfect here. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, and any sports fan can relate to that. So basically, by not streaming there, you're missing shots because you're not taking them. Right now, let's go to the pop culture nerd side of things. Okay, for my Naruto fans out there, shout out to you guys. But Naruto's big thing with shadow clones was what? He would make 1,000 shadow clones, do an activity, come back together as one person, and he's now done that 1,000 times. So if you're learning to perfect your craft, why would you not want more chances to have interaction? You're only streaming to Twitch. Guess what? Discoverability on Twitch, absolutely terrible. Any Twitch streamer is going to tell you there's zero discoverability there, because especially when you're starting out, because there is impossible to find. They're making improvements. They've added clips where you could highlight clips, and they've added stories. So again, they're making improvements because they're listening. Okay, but if you're streaming to Twitch only all day and you have no viewers, you've learned nothing. You stream to several platforms, and on one of those platforms, you magically get a piece of foot traffic. Guess what? You've learned more on that stream than you did on the solo stream where you learned nothing. So, and again, half of learning is building confidence and talking to somebody. I remember starting out streaming and somebody come in and say, "Hey," and I'm like, "Oh God, hi," because you're nervous, you're new, you don't know what you're doing. So that's my argument for multi-streaming, and I just don't. I mean, I haven't heard a good one to come back at me yet, and I would love that. I would love for somebody to come back at me with why I'm wrong.
Let's get it then.
Saw said, "Walk it in." He said, "Dude."
All right, so this is for people that are just starting streaming or just thinking about getting into it. We talked about a couple episodes ago that I don't think the best place to grow your stream is streaming.
Right.
I don't even think you should start streaming to start streaming.
Okay.
I think to start streaming, you should start creating content on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, making shorts. Now, let's say you started getting people watching your shorts. You start growing a little bit of a community. Whenever you're streaming and you're wanting to get into that, why are you trying to throw them to 17 different places? Send them to one spot where all the people that watch your TikToks, all the people that watch your YouTube, all the people that watch your Instagram, all can go to one place, watch you live, and enjoy it and become an actual community. I don't want any breaks in my community. I don't want people having to talk from Kick to Twitch through a little widget that I have on my stream, which
Okay.
I've done that.
All right. So we're taking
But it's-
shots. Okay.
Well,
Well,
no, I do this. I did the same thing. It's
No,
not
absolutely.
about you.
Yes.
It's all good.
No, I get it.
But
While
go ahead.
I understand that completely and wholeheartedly, my thing is though, is there are people who don't want to go to Twitch like we talked about earlier, but would rather go to Kick. But almost everybody has a TikTok, so if they see all your shorts on TikTok or YouTube shorts, you try to be like, "Hey, I'm streaming over on Twitch. I don't like Twitch." Well, hey, I multi-stream on Kick as well.
So to build on what Lucky's saying is, and to defeat your argument, Sauce, is why are you sending your shorts to multiple places, but you're refusing to send your stream to multiple places? Because you're sending shorts to YouTube to find YouTube short people, right? But you're also sending that same video to TikTok to find TikTok people. Well, guess what? Your YouTube people aren't going to be like, well, I'll also check it out on TikTok, because they're obviously YouTube short people, because there are people like that. Now there's content creators like us who just use everything, right? But let's say this. So you only upload shorts. Let's defeat the whole argument. You only upload shorts, which is YouTube, for those of you that don't know. you only upload shorts. Well, guess what? People on there for their long form content or their live streaming content, they're not all the same. YouTube shorts people aren't all Kick only audience, Twitch only audience. So within that one audience, you're going to find I watch Trovo. Okay, weirdo. I watch Twitch. I watch Kick. I watch Facebook because I'm old. You're going to find all those people on that one app as well. So to further my argument against you, Sauce, if I'm streaming everywhere, the people that find me with my shorts that go everywhere can find their home. Now, I completely agree with you where this is where your community starts to seem and feel divided.
Mhm.
What is
Absolutely.
the one tool that we're using right now that brings
Obviously,
all of them
Discord's
together?
definitely going to be the tool,
It's Discord.
which is great. But not everyone wants to join a Discord either. So I enjoy having the idea of everyone in one spot because then your stream becomes a place where people are talking to each other in chat directly. They're tagging each other. They're making relationships happen in there.
Right.
And it doesn't even have to include me. I could just be background noise to them talking about their day and enjoying that. And to me, that's more important than me streaming in multiple different places. Now, does that mean that I'm not streaming in multiple different places right now? Well, I'm not because my PC won't let me. But
I don't. Is it your PC or is it your internet capability?
yes. So it's not that I can't do it. It's just that I don't have a need for it. Like, I don't enjoy streaming over on Kick. I've tried, didn't really like it. I didn't really enjoy streaming over on YouTube when I streamed on YouTube. The only place that I've found enjoyment in streaming has been Twitch. And I think it's just about the community and like the culture that it's able to build just naturally. YouTube feels super businessy.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is.
Twitch feels like home, and Kick feels like I hate the world except for Kick.
So, for the sake of any new streamer or struggling streamer watching and listening to these, the answer at the end of the day is do what's most comfortable for you. Whether Sauce is right or me and Lecky are correct, it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, if you feel like Sauce feels when he streams to Kick, you're not going to produce good content. You're not going to provide entertainment if you're not happy and you're not comfortable with what you're doing, anyways. I'm very
Absolutely.
comfortable multi-streaming because I've built that muscle. I've done it long enough now that I'm very comfortable. You know, if you pay attention to my eyes when I'm streaming, I look like I have a showering gun. I'm looking at 3 to 4 to 6 different chats because I'm like, oh God, who did I miss? You know, it is a little overwhelming sometimes. It is what it is, though. I like it. I enjoy it. And to me, I'm a weirdo. It gives me a little bit of a rush where it's just like exciting. You know, now if I miss somebody's chat, personally, I end up feeling like a total failure because I'm like, oh, I've missed that, you know? So, and I've gone as far as messaging that person after streaming, like, hey, I'm so sorry I missed your chat. Thank you so much for coming by. I apologize. But none of them ever responded. Whatever. Did I lose them? Maybe. But at least I let them know, hey, my bad. So, and again, that's not necessary. That's just me being a weirdo. So,
I think that's probably the hardest thing. And one of the reasons I would recommend streaming to one place for
In the
somebody that's
beginning.
first starting
right.
Yeah.
is there's so many chats you're going to have to juggle. If you're streaming to like 4 different places, having your eyes on every chat at the same time is rough.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to play a game that's intensive. And it depends on what you're playing. If you're playing, you know, My Little Pony Simulator, you could probably do that a little slower than if you're playing, you know, balls to the wall COD. Like, it's going to be quicker on that. So you're going to have to pay more attention. Exactly. So you're more likely to miss things happening. Also, Aztecan has a nice setup. He has multiple monitors. You're not going to have that necessarily when you first start.
Preach.
We talked about earlier how some people are starting from a console and their cell phone and headbuds.
Yeah, by the way, you console streamers, this really isn't even a conversation for you because you don't even have the capability to multi-stream right now unless
I
you're
don't even think they
using
can stream on Kick.
your phone. I don't think it's built into console, no.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the only one you could stream to right now is Twitch.
Those are the people that are like, what's Kick?
Or Or they can stream to TikTok, do like
from the phone.
you can have your phone
with
like
a-
angled at the
Yeah.
you could do that technically.
And
I've seen
and
people do it.
I've seen people be successful with that, and to us, it's mind boggling because the three of us are weirdo perfectionists. Like, oh, they can't hear the game. Oh, they hear me, bro. They hear my dog snoring in the background.
Right.
Big buffalo man back there. Whatever it
Or-
is.
Or my biggest thing is they hear the keyboard. The keys
Man, this
clacking.
man's sweaty.
Oh, man. Can't stand it.
It's just one of those things.
So,
So I think that obviously, like you said, it's going to be a case to case basis.
Yeah.
But don't overwhelm yourself at the beginning. If you don't have to, don't do it. If you feel like you can do it and you want to, take the leap. But
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with streaming to one platform, getting some experience, and then going to other platforms if you want to as well.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, it's what you want to do. Everybody's their own person. You all have your own opinions. People have made it successful just by streaming to one place, and people have been successful by streaming to multiple places. I mean, it can happen in any fashion.
well, for the sake of liking to argue here, when you first start out, how much stress and balancing are you really doing? Because as we spoke before, you're streaming to 5 places with 0 viewers, 0 chatters. The likelihood that all 5 chats are going to get somebody in there at the exact same time when you're first starting out, to me, is next to 0. So again, like I mentioned, and I coined that term on purpose earlier, is I built this muscle. You would still, at that time, you'd be learning how to multi-stream, because you can stream to one platform. You can build, a little 3, 6, 8 person community, whatever, congratulations. And then when you decide, I think I'm ready to multi-stream, guess what? It'll be like day one all over again when you're learning to move your chats, look, and read. So again, for the sake of I like to argue, is you still got to learn to build that muscle in the beginning.
You're not wrong, but we also talked about you're building this community outside of streaming first. So if you've already built this community a little bit, you're not going to have nobody in your chat when you first start, especially if you're wanting to multi-stream.
Yeah.
And you're telling them, I stream here, I stream here, I stream here. You might have 3 people in this chat, 4 people in that chat, 1 down here and 4 up there. Day one, that's a lot to try to juggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I could see that as well. But I just like to argue.
Oh, I know. Sometimes it's hard to juggle 13 people in your chat. Just
And,
one chat.
and one chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
A good old
There's
slow mo.
like 7 conversations going on, and you're like, well, that doesn't involve me. What's that? What
Right.
about your grandma?
Yeah, and then one of your jerk mods comes in and is like mad at you because like you missed a chat or something. Like you're just,
No,
You-
man.
and then it
Like,
stresses you out because you're like, I didn't mean to miss your chat.
just skips over my message.
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that a bunch.
Yeah, imagine not reading a chat. Like, it's insane. So yeah. Okay. So here's another big thing that I heard from, a newer streamer. It's like, hey, I seen Lucky have this cat on his head when he streams. I absolutely love that, and I want to put something on my head, but I don't want to feel like I'm stealing his content. How do you feel about that, Sauce? What is stealing content? Because I mean, how many streamers are out there? Eventually, I feel like things are going to start to overlap, are they not?
No one owns any particular idea. And there's a difference between stealing someone's content and getting inspiration from someone's content. Getting inspiration from
Yeah.
it, awesome. That's great. I do hot sauce shots. Do you think I'm the first person in the world that's ever done hot sauce shots? Absolutely not. There's people that do that still that I run into all the time. So it's not an original idea, but it's something that has become a part of my channel and my content. Did I steal that from someone? Not necessarily, but it's an inspiration. Like, my name is Sauce McSaucy, so makes sense for me to do hot sauce shots because my name is Sauce.
So for a newer streamer learning lingo, that would be a brand, right? Your name
Yes.
is Sauce. Your brand is Sauce. Sauce is you. Sauce is the thing that you do. So therefore, it really matches your brand.
Correct. Now, you talked about Lucky having the cat on his head,
Love it. Biscuit.
which is great. That's Biscuit. That is part of his brand that he started building.
Oh,
But is that cat unique to Lucky? No, it's a snap cam filter.
dang.
That's just what it is.
We were trying to gatekeep that one, bro.
We're not gatekeeping. I don't believe in gatekeeping.
We wouldn't have made
I'm
this.
for the streamers.
We wouldn't have made this channel if we were trying to gatekeep.
Exactly.
So-
So if someone wants something like that, if you want to use snap cam filters, use them. That's not his content. That's just something that he's known for. He has a brand using it now,
Mhm.
and that's okay. But if he goes into someone's stream and sees someone with a cat on their head, he's not gonna be like, "You stole my content."
You stole Mr. Biscuits.
He might say that jokingly.
Right.
Jokingly, absolutely.
That streamer's gonna be
But
like,
that's
"Who the
not-
hell is Mr. Biscuits?"
Right.
Exactly. Now, let's say that someone does a certain thing or a certain thing. Exactly. Let's say that someone does wears a bikini for hype trains. And
Ooh. What's she looking
you're
like?
like, that's a great idea. And then you start wearing a bikini for hype trains.
No.
That is literally taking the idea and using it exactly. That is
Yeah.
stealing.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically what Sauce is saying is like there's a difference between liking seeing a TikTok video, for example, getting a bunch of views and thinking, oh, let me save it into my phone and repost it. That's stealing content.
Mhm.
Versus liking what they did with their video and then spinning it to make it your own thing.
Mhm.
That's inspiration.
So
Put a little
for
twist on it.
for simple-minded
Right.
people like me, so basically what you're telling me is you're letting me cheat off your homework, but I just got to change it up a little bit. Is
Pretty
that what
much.
Is that what
Pretty
you're saying?
much.
Okay.
All the answers are already out there.
Oh, yeah.
All you got to do is make it your own.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've caught myself. There's a couple big streamers. Well, to me, they're big streamers that I like to watch, and I find myself if I spend enough time with them, my next stream, I accidentally am like repeating something that they said, and then right then, because I'm paranoid about being called out for stealing, I'll be like, "Oh, hey, shout out to so and so," because that's their thing. I didn't mean to steal it just now. I mean, there's so much stuff like that, and I think if you can be open to like if you do directly steal something and if you're like, hey, that's not mine, and a lot of times, I think this happened between me and Sauce here recently. If you're like, hey, I love that, do you mind if I steal that? Sauce's answer, of course, to me was like, just go for it. Because I believe Sauce has what is it, Code Red and Hot Cheetos?
Oh, yeah. Code Red and
Emotes.
Hot Cheetos.
Yeah, emotes in his stream. And I'm a Dr. Pepper and Hot Cheetos with lime guy. I think those are superior to his thing. So I was like, well, now I want my thing. So I literally took almost the same exact concept of his, changed it slightly, and now it's funny because our shared community members will go in there and one's throwing Dr. Pepper, one's throwing Code Red, and there's one that's like, why not both? I love both of these. So it's just, when it comes to that, in this day and age, not everything has been done, but majority of things have been done. So, I mean, you're going to run into that, because of my heritage. I mean, every now and then when I get flustered or I get, overexcited, this random R will roll out of my mouth just randomly, and my community loves it. They always call it out when it happens, but I know personally for me, I'm either really stressed out or again, just overstimulated, like, or I'm, have had too much energy drinks or something, and I've literally had somebody come in and be like, oh, you're trying to steal that from so-and-so. And I'm like, who is so-and-so? This is me. This is my culture. This is how I was raised. This is a part of who I am. And honestly, what I don't think my community really understood when it first started happening is I'm stressed out. This is not a thing for entertainment. This is a body reaction of, I need help. So I just think it's so funny. So I wouldn't get too hung up on, are you stealing something or not? Now, if you blatantly go and take somebody's whatever and you word for word or color for color or, shape for whatever, if you do it exactly, then yes, you're stealing. And you shouldn't do that because you're not going to grow that way, but definitely always make your own twist and build your own brand. At the end of the
I
day,
think it's the intent.
Yeah.
behind it.
I think I could think of maybe 4 or 5 different streamers right now who have based their platform around pizza. Does that mean they stole from each other? No. That just means
No.
those guys like pizza. It's their
They love
thing.
pizza.
You know, and the cool part is you go in there and they all have very similar emotes, but you can see their own artistic spin on it, whether it's theirs or they hired, you know, the internet's worst thing ever graphic designer. Sorry for the shot, guys, but you guys are annoying. Whether they hired one of those or not, you know, they are. And as a new streamer, you're going to learn that. But don't message one back. That's going to be your biggest mistake and regret ever.
Don't post on, was it X now?
Yeah, don't
post on
at-
X.
I need new emotes.
Listen, I wanted to see how much traction I could get on that post, and till this day, that's probably still my most popular post. Okay, because I'm talking like freaking sheep just coming out of every crack and cranny, dude. Just hi, I do that. And then what's funny is I said, don't even message me unless you can do, you know, XYZ. And here come ABC, like, what about me? I'm like, do you do XYZ? No, I'm ABC. Why are you messaging me? So I wouldn't get too hung into that. Whoever was thinking, you know, they're worried about stealing, and just make it at your own.
Yeah, like I said, I think it all comes down to your intent. If you are intending to take something and use it just as is, then you probably already know that you're stealing content.
Oh,
If you have to question it, then you're probably stealing it. If you don't question it, you're like, this is somebody that I enjoy what they're doing, and that's a really cool idea. What could I do to make that something that I could use in my channel? Then you're not stealing, you're just getting inspiration, and that's fine. I think that was all we had scheduled for today, sir.
Well, that's all we have for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening in. If you guys want to follow us on all our other socials, link trees are everywhere. We will be dropping the next episode on Sundays. We plan on Sundays going forward. So we'll see you guys next Sunday. Much love.